The team were operating on the southbound, where someone looked over on the northbound and saw this car behind the ambulance. So they quickly ran over, and then you saw them apprehend it. There you go, that's a ticket, and they have confiscated the driver's license. Good morning everyone, we're back on EDSA. This is southbound Santolan bus stop, busway enforcement operation. Now traffic is a little bit heavier than usual this morning, and I suspect a big part of that is because there's a truck that is stalled and he's blocking 1.5 lanes, or at least one lane. See, some people are using the bus lane to get ahead. Oh, he's also driving in slippers, aside from the bus lane violation. So what I was saying is that yes, there is a stalled truck here on EDSA, and that is part of the reason why they kept implementing truck bans, because day after day, week after week, they were experiencing this problem where typically poorly maintained trucks were breaking down on EDSA during rush hour, and that's causing massive traffic for everybody. Imagine the daily volume of vehicles on EDSA is, I think, 430,000. And then they were having that problem where, like, every morning there's a truck that's breaking down on the highway, and then they're really hard to move because you need a heavier equipment to move it compared to a regular tow truck, which the MMDA does have now, thankfully. They invested in that around a year ago, I'd say, maybe a little bit longer. Have a rider there, he just left the bus lane, probably saw the enforcers up ahead. Whether or not they'll be able to apprehend him, I'm not sure. Because it's dark, it does become a lot more difficult. It used to be that you could use the CCTV for enforcement, but obviously that's not allowed anymore because of the TRO from the Supreme Court. I've seen a lot of people commenting that, well, they think that cars get through more often, but actually every day there will be several motorcycles that manage to sneak through, force their way through, or just run away without fail every day. Whereas those incidents with cars happen maybe once in a week or once in 3 weeks. They're not very common at all. And of course the biggest violator that's a bus lane, it really is motorcycles. Statistically, huh? Look, see, they pointed him to go to the side, but instead he's put himself in the middle. They did manage to push him off to the side for ticketing. Oh, sorry, it's a lady. They managed to push her off to the side. That rider that you just saw was ticketed and told to leave through the opening over there. But instead of leaving the busway, she's continued behind the bus. It looked like she was going to go through the opening like she was told, but then she just continued straight in the busway. Now in the past when that's happened, what they did is they actually submitted it to LTO and issued a show cause order. And the driver was summoned to a hearing. It's not that once you get a ticket you can just do what you want for the rest of the day. So that rider with the fluorescent vest actually managed to slip through because the enforcers had to take charge of this situation and push that car, appears to be a stalled car, off to the side. And I can see there's some MMDA over with that truck now, so they must have arrived in the last few minutes. That rider keeps going in and out of the bus lane. Looks like he's decided to leave now. There's no enforcers here anyway because they're all dealing with that stalled vehicle, the car that they pushed to the side. Another rider at the top. What's that? That guy just stopped his SUV and shouted out that they're causing traffic. He doesn't realise that the cause of the traffic is the stalled truck and the stalled car. And they haven't even apprehended anyone for about 20 minutes. Can you imagine that? You've just pushed a stalled vehicle off the highway. You're walking back to your position, and then instead of like a good job or thanks, something like that, a guy in his nice fancy aircon car tells you that you're causing traffic. And that's the reality. For enforcers, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They're breathing in pollution all day, every day, melting under the sun, getting hit with all the dust and dirt that gets blown in your face every time a vehicle drives past, shouted at by various motorists, and then no matter what you do, someone will find a problem with it. One of the riders trying to force it. Oh, the enforcer managed to block him. I saw him pulling the throttle and the enforcer was trying to get him to stop. Got a blinking brake light as well by the looks of it. And the other rider, they also pulled over. The truth is that if a driver or a rider really forces it and uses the power of their engine, especially if it's only one enforcer that's stopping them, oh, it's very challenging. There's no guarantee they're going to be able to stop them. But in this case, the rider only tried a little bit and he did stop, so they were able to push him off to the side for ticketing. The reality is that the incidents that go viral are cars that manage to force their way through or escape. But that only happens maybe once in a week or in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Whereas in motorcycles, they have several every day that would either evade them, force their way through, or run away. And that's every day, not once a week or once or 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks. But honestly, a lot of people just don't pay much attention. What they really get upset about is when it's a car. And sometimes it's for good reason, like that 7 plate, right? Especially with the passenger allegedly giving the middle finger. But other times it's really just because it's a car, it gets a lot more attention. You can see that in my videos in the past. Any car that manages to get through, for whatever reason, always gets a lot more attention from the public. And with the Cadillac incident, a lot of people said, oh, Sano all may press con. Actually, most people wouldn't want to press con because then your name is out there, everything is out there, right? Compared to if there's no press con, you're just quiet behind the scenes. No one knows who you are. Yes, you're penalized, but no one knows who you are. And obviously that incident caused a lot of reputational damage. So even if the penalty is not that expensive for those involved, there is a side effect to that incident for reputation. There were 2 riders that left the bus lane. They're going to try and apprehend them. There's one of the riders, but I think the other one managed to get through. MC taxi behind this bus. Oh, there was another MC ahead of him as well. I doubt they were able to see the one at the front because I barely saw him and I'm zoomed in with the camera. But the one at the back, definitely they would have been able to see him because from a distance he was in the middle. So I guess they're going to get the one with the red long sleeves. Oh, what's happening? They're trying to push him to the side. Okay, there you go. I saw an E-Jeep go past a moment ago in one of the regular lanes. And it reminded me of a conversation I had recently with an operator here in NCR. Right now they operate modernized diesel Jeeps, so Euro 4, Euro 5 here in NCR. And they want to buy some electric jeepneys and then put them on various routes. But apparently they've run into a difficulty with LTFRB because according to the operator, LTFRB are only going to allow it if they buy brand new E-Jeeps. But what he wants to do is buy second-hand e-jeeps from different routes around the country that are no longer being used. They're literally just sitting in parking lots, rotting away, because the operator couldn't make a viable business on their route. But apparently he can't buy those and then register them with LTFRB for these routes, so they're just going to sit there rotting away. And it reminds me of, I don't know if you've been watching the hearings, right, on BUV Modernization. One of the questions that's come up is about the loans from the government and whether they're really getting their money back, because they gave very competitive loans, 5, 6, 7, 5% down, 6% interest over 7 years. And well, imagine you've got these e-jeeps, you don't have a profitable route, so you've stopped operating them, they're rotting away. Someone's willing to buy them, but because they can't register them on the routes here, well, they're just going to rot away. So no loan is getting paid, if there's a loan on those jeeps. Everybody loses out basically. Apparently LTFRB are looking for a way to make it work. Now I haven't spoken to LTFRB, to be fair. This is just the operator telling me his situation that he's in. I hope they can find a way, because sayang, right? If you got those e-jeeps just rotting away, and there's someone that wants to operate them here in Metro Manila, and they believe they can make it into a viable business, and there are e-jeeps operating profitably here in Metro Manila, well, why not let them be registered here, right? Nako, there's already a truck that's stalled, a car that's stalled, and now you got this incident. Well, to be fair, there might be some legitimacy to whatever happened between these two, but still bad timing. Looks like they got bumped from behind. I just saw one of the MMDA emergency tow trucks arrive. I thought he was going to pick up the car that's stalled over there, but actually it looks like they're going to try and connect to the truck. Now the truck is the bigger obstruction, but I just didn't know that that tow truck was able to pull trucks like that, especially considering it's got heavy equipment on the back, extra weight. I hope that the route they take is going to be relatively flat. What they used to do is use a big forklift and then take trucks off the highway using that, but it was a little bit dangerous, and there was actually someone that died. So finally, after how many years, they invested and bought this big blue machine, a big blue monster that can actually pick up and take away stalled trucks like this. But I'm not sure, for some reason they're using the little tow truck today. Hopefully they can get it moved, and hopefully it's safe.